That night the moon was full and I was sitting on the grass with my girlfriend, gazing up at the sky and stars. I could smell the jasmine and hear the sound of cicadas. The sky was clear, and despite the bright moonlight, I could distinguish the kiss between Venus and Jupiter. However, the constellation of Taurus made my breath light and my heart free. At some point I saw a star moving, a tiny dot that shone brighter than the others and grew larger and larger under my curious gaze. Squinting, I couldn't believe my eyes. It was a solid object that was rotating horizontally. It had the shape of a bulging cylinder on one end and was truncated on the other, with an opening in the center that looked like the three-dimensional entrance to a temple made of a stone-like material. The image became clearer and clearer, and I turned to my girlfriend in ecstasy and asked her, "Do you see it too?" She backed away, and I continued to stare in amazement. "That strange airplane is a spacecraft," she told me, and I felt a sense of peace wash over me. The spacecraft was a dull ivory white and continued to rotate rapidly in the silence of the night. At one point, I saw it dissolve and divide into 3 different clusters connected by a thin filament. Each cluster was made up of 5 white triangles with rounded tips, and they had a soft, almost liquid consistency, undulating in the air like the fins of a white dolphin. As they flew in front of our eyes, they gradually took on human-like shapes. The 3 clusters transformed into 3 humanoids, and I was incredulous. So, I said to my girlfriend, "We're not dreaming. It's all real." We remained sitting on the grass, motionless, while the 3 figures in front of us became increasingly defined. The first to emerge was a woman who appeared right in front of my face, just a few centimeters from my nose. I saw her clearly. She had curly red hair on her shoulders, amber skin, a white suit, and intense ice blue eyes, which she kept partially closed as if in a trance. She was sitting on her knees in the Seiza meditation posture and staring at me. Then, standing beside her, an humanoid figure appeared, whose face I couldn't clearly see because of the thin helmet adhering to his head, but I was certain it was a male figure. He also had light hair, a white suit with a belt at the waist, and was very tall. In the background, behind their shoulders, a third being appeared, another entity that seemed like a child, but I couldn't see it clearly nor make out the details because a white mist surrounded it. The red-haired woman in front of me, still kneeling, tilted her head to one side, narrowed her eyes, and began to speak an unknown language, a mixture of Arabic and Danish. It was like she was immersed in a deep meditation. Her voice was baritone and seemed to come from the gut, and between words, there was a buzz mixed with incomprehensible sounds. I had the impression that she was scanning our aura or level of evolution, like a machine that could detect the psychic and spiritual frequency of human beings. In short, she was analyzing us. The man with the helmet standing next to her then placed a hand on her shoulder and through that touch seemed to connect with her. I had a clear feeling that through that physical contact, he was able to feel and decode the subtle signals and frequencies that the woman absorbed from us. She transmitted our signals, and he decoded them. The whole thing lasted a few minutes until the man with the helmet said to me, "Your girlfriend is not ready," and then they left in the same way they had arrived, turning into those 3 white clusters that merged and reformed into that spaceship, or what appeared to me to be a spaceship, until it flew off into the distant sky and disappeared. This is the story of a dream that Giancarlo had a few weeks ago. I specified that Giancarlo is not interested in UFOs or aliens. When I put on a documentary on the subject, he falls asleep and has never wanted to know more. Yet when he told me this dream, his enthusiasm was sky high. He said to me, "It was real. I lived it. It wasn't a dream." This is unusual for him because he is a fairly rational man. So, Giancarlo, tell me, what did you feel? What did you perceive about these 3 humanoid beings and this liquid spaceship? Well, the 3 humanoid beings felt like they were one entity. She seemed to have a generative function. I don't know why she and the man could be considered as 2 different levels of evolutionary life, but of the same kind that coexists in the same environment. The one who appeared indistinctly like a child, I perceived as a regulatory function of consciousness. In what sense? in the sense that each one had their own role and was conscious of their function and recognized the value of the others in the whole. Different evolutionary lines of the same race or expression of life. The spaceship was clearly alive, and they were the spaceship themselves. But what did they want from you? I think they wanted to know at what point in my evolution I was, and they wanted to take me with them. But we all have to be ready. No one can be left behind if we want to make the big leap. But they didn't tell you this with words. I heard it in my head. Well, you've reached the end of the video. If you are interested in learning more about similar topics, here you will find other really interesting videos from the channel. Thanks for watching this video. Click on the like button if you enjoyed it, and do not forget to subscribe in case you didn't. See you on the next one.